Oregon's May 17th primary election is already in our rear view, and now we are looking ahead to the Washington state primary on August 2nd. The man in charge of making sure that election is fair and accurate is Democrat and former state legislator Steve Hobbs. Hobbs was appointed by Governor Jay Inslee last year to replace Kim Wyman, who resigned midterm to join the Department of Homeland Security. We're talking election security and the pressures on secretaries of state to get it right. Steve Hobbs, welcome to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
There's a lot of focus now on election integrity and security, especially in light of what we've seen from the House Select Committee investigating January 6th. How can you assure Washington state voters that this upcoming election will be fair and accurate?
Absolutely. You know, we have had any problems here in the state of Washington dealing with the accuracy of elections. We have a very safe and secure system here in the state of Washington. And you don't have the voter suppression that you do and sometimes in other states in terms of, long lines at polling places. You get to vote here at the convenience of your own home where we send out ballots like 18 days before the election. So we have a really great system here. We have a great county auditors who administer the election at the local level. So Washingtonians should feel secure when casting their vote.
No matter what the results, do you expect any challenges, and are you prepared to deal with them if they come up?
I mean, we're always prepared for anything that might come up, and we're always vigilant. One thing that maybe the people don't know out there, your viewers, is the fact when I took over and I had the briefing from Secretary Wyman as she was outgoing, is that yes, there are cyber threats that go after our elections, both the county and state. That there's misinformation, disinformation out there. There was 180 instances of misinformation and disinformation that affected the 2020 election that Kim Wyman had to deal with. And that is why, since I took over, we expanded our cybersecurity division. We're doubling it. We're strengthening our ties with the local National Guard, our Air National Guard that does cybersecurity. Also creating a division that deals with misinformation and disinformation. And of course, voter outreach and education. Part of it is just letting the voters know how votes are processed here in the state of Washington. We already had instances in where Cybercom informed us there were 6 IP addresses, Russian IP addresses that were collecting data, and luckily we didn't have any of the, no, we were not sending data to that, but we have agreements and we work with Homeland Security and CISA, which is the Cyber Security Infrastructure and Security Agency. So everyone is vigilant, your state is vigilant, and your federal government is vigilant to make sure that our elections are secure.
How do you define misinformation and disinformation? Give me an example.
Sure, certainly. When you have a situation where perhaps using, some handle, we'll say, that says that perhaps they've seen some voter fraud or something in a county. Let's say they saw people putting in a bunch of ballots and that these ballots were geared towards a certain candidate. Well, what we would do is first of all, you would check, is that person real? That is the first step of it, because some of these tweets or Facebook posts may not be a real person. It could be a bot. It could be somebody with maybe a St. Petersburg address and working with CISA, Homeland Security, and we'll work with our social media platforms and we'll look at this and see if that person is even a real person. If they're not, or if they are a real person, then you know what we can do? We can just contact the county auditor, or we can contact the county sheriff or county authorities and find out if this is even true. And it probably will not be true, or at least we can say, hey, look, we checked it out and we found out it's not true. And then people who say that, come up with different excuses as to what is a problem with the elections. I'm just naming one of them there where they saw something, let us know and we'll look at it and we'll try to correct the problem. Main thing is voter education. I mean, I think we all can point to a relative or a friend that maybe takes things and retweets it when they shouldn't have, or reposts things or shares things. what we want to do is let folks know out there, and this is general. It's not just with elections. Just take a pause.
Yeah.
Look at the tweet. Look at the post, right? Before you share it or retweet it, really look at it, see if this person's even a real person, or maybe even perhaps check if it's even on mainstream media or not. That would really suppress a lot of the misinformation, disinformation.
Yeah, understood. Washington State uses a top two primary system in congressional and state races instead of a party system. That's why there are two Republicans, incumbent Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler and challenger Joe Kent, running against each other in Washington's 3rd Congressional District, which includes Clark County, which is in the Portland metro area. What are the advantages or disadvantages of your system as opposed to the party system in Oregon?
Well, what that does is it gets you the very best, right? I mean, you want the best person representing you, whether it be a congressional district, a legislative district, or the state. And so what better way to do that is to filter that out and have the top two people move forward. It also, speaking as a moderate, it does allow for moderates to kind of get through a system that may be geared a little more towards a party, for the extreme ends of the party. And so having a top two system gives the moderate a chance to be able to make it through.
During the pandemic, many states around the country went to a vote-by-mail system that we in the Northwest use. What's been the Washington State experience over your decade of vote-by-mail, and what do you say to people who question it?
Well, first of all you got to do is, you could probably YouTube it, but look at the long lines that are happening in states down south. I mean, it's just crazy. And you only get one day to do it. That is nuts. Here in the state of Washington, you have, we mail out the ballots 18 days before the election. You have the convenience of doing it at your own home. You got the convenience of going to the various drop boxes that the counties have out there. So you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to rush. And I know that your state just recently did it so that you can vote on the very day of the election. So that's wonderful. You don't have the challenge that you did before, where you have to worry about, will my ballot make it on election day? We have always had it where you could mail it on the day of election, as long as it's postmarked 8 p.m. on the day of the election.
Again, we said that your primary election is August 2nd. When will the ballots be sent out?
18 days before that. And then, of course, the overseas voters a little bit before that as well.
Any other big races that we should know about?
Well, there's a lot of big races. Of course, my big race, I'm very interested in that one, but you had mentioned it for your viewers. Obviously, the 3rd Congressional District is something that everybody's watching. There's a district of Newhouse, and then, of course, Kim Schreier, the 8th Congressional District. Obviously, these are what we call knife fights in politics, and so those are definitely ones to watch out there. But you know what? Your viewers should also pay attention to the local races, your legislative races. And if you have a special city council race or a district, a sewer district, I mean, all these are so important as part of our democracy, and your viewers should make every race important.
Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs, you mentioned your race. You have to run again since you were appointed midterm, so you actually have to run for this position again. Thanks for joining me on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you very much.